Namaste and welcome back to the next video on the NIRF rankings. So in the previous video, we have discussed about the introductory part of the NIRF, in which we have seen the parameters of the NIRF rankings. We have also discussed regarding the categories in which the overall ranking is being done. Of which all overall categories, one of the category would be the engineering colleges. So today's video would be on the NIRF rankings, that is the ranking matrices in the engineering colleges. So previously, also we have discussed the various parameters, and the parameters there are 5 parameters, and each five parameters are having different weightages in the overall category and in the colleges category also. So when we speak about the engineering category, we are having these 5 parameters with a weightage of same marks of 100, and the weightage is little bit differing in the various parameters. If you see the first and the second parameter, that is the teaching, learning resources and research professional practice, carries a weightage of 30%, that is 0.3 percentage weightage compared to the other parameters. So today we will discuss about each parameter in detail. So the first parameter would be the teaching, learning resources, which we call it as what, TLR, with a ranking weightage of 0.30 and the marks of 100. In this teaching, learning and resources, we do have, in this teaching, learning resources parameter, we do have 4 subcategories, of which the first one is the student strength, including the doctoral students, which carries a weightage of 20 marks. And the second sub-criteria would be the faculty-student ratio, with the emphasis on the permanent faculty, that is the FSR, which carries the weightage of 30 marks. And the combined metrics for faculty with PhD or equivalent and having the experience also, that is FQE, which carries a weightage of 20 marks. And the fourth would be the financial resources and their utilization, that is FRU, of 30 marks. And the second parameter, that is the research, professional and practice, with a weightage of 0.3%, that is the ranking weightage, also have some sub-parameters, that is the combined metrics for the publications, which carries a weightage of 35 marks, and combined metrics of quality in publication, QP, carries a 40 marks, IPR, patents published and granted, carries 15 marks, footprint and projects and professional practice would be carrying of 10 marks. And the next parameter would be the graduation outcomes, with the sub-parameters, which include combined metrics for placement and higher studies, carries a weightage of 40 marks, with the metrics for universities examination of 15 marks, median salary of 25 marks, metric for number of PhD students graduated carries a weightage of 20 marks. Then with the parameter of outreach and inclusivity, the ranking of 0.10 is given, and it has a sub-criteria, that is the sub-matrices like percentage of the students from other states, countries, that is the region of the diversity, which we say, which carries a weightage of 30 marks. Then the percentage of the women diversity, which carries a weightage of 30. Economically and socially challenged students carries weightage of 20 marks. Facilities for physically challenged students carries of 20 marks. And the perception carries a rank weightage of 0.1, and the peer perception or the employees or the academic peer, which has a weightage of 100 marks. So in our today's video, we would be seeing about one by one of these parameters. Now, if we begin with the teaching, learning resources parameter, which carries a weightage of 100 marks and a ranking weightage of 30 marks, the overall weightage of this particular matrices is, I mean to say, the teaching, learning and resources, the rank weightage given for this is 0.30, which includes all the 4 parameters. The formula for this particular teaching, learning and resources is the TLR is equals to SS, where the SS already which we discussed, it carries a weightage of 20 marks, and the FSR, which is the faculty student ratio with the emphasis on the permanent faculty, carries a weightage of 30 marks, plus the third matrices, which was the FQE, that is a combined metric of faculty with PhD or equivalent degrees and their experience, is also having a weightage of 20 marks. And FRU, that is the financial resources and their utilization, carries a weightage of 30 marks. So together it becomes the TLR, which is having a weightage of 30. Okay, so here are the component based matrices which we have already discussed in the above formula. So now let us begin with one each. So the first one was the student strength, including the PhD students, that is the SS, which carries a weightage of 20 marks. Now, if you see the formula in this student strength, it is SS is equals to F, then NT, NE multiplied by 15 plus FNP into 5. Now, if you see this formula, F is there. There is no any fixed value of F, but it is a ratio based on the function that basically depends on the data which is provided by the institutions. Hope so I am clear at this point. F is no any fixed value is there, but it is a ratio which that is the data which the institution is being providing. Now, if you see the functions of NT, NE and NP, what I was telling, they all are, that is the F is will be determined by the NIRF only. Now, what the NT stands for? NT is the total sanctioned approved intake in the institution considering all the UG and PG programs of the institution. Means the total ratio, enrolled ratio of the students who are considering, means complete approved intake. What is the approved intake for an UG and a PG programs in that particular institution? Then if you see, NE is nothing but of this total approved intake, how many students are being getting enrolled in that UG and PG. So together NT and NE, it is nothing but the ratio of the enrolled students to the number of the eligible students. So therefore this NT and NE, if you see, the NT by NE would be the ratio of the total enrolled students to the number of the eligible students. Now, if you see NP is nothing but the ratio of the number of the PhD students, especially the PhD programs, whichever the institution is running or the college is running. In there, what is the total number of the doctoral program students till the previous academic year? Till the back previous academic year, what are the total number of the students enrolled into that one? So now NP is nothing but it is a ratio of a number of the PhD students to the total eligible students. In other words to say, that is NP is equals to NP upon NE. NP upon NE is again the approved, considering which are eligible students, upon what is the intake of the PhD. The NP stands for the enrolling of the students and NE stands for the eligible students. So now this all data would be provided in some prescribed formats. Now let us understand these formulas in depth with an example. Okay. So there are certain limits and caps in this particular formulas. So the maximum value of NT and NE is capped at 1. Thus, the maximum value for this NT and NE would be capped for 1. I mean to say, if all eligible are enrolled, I mean to say that how many sanctioned intake is there, that many students have been enrolled. That stands equals to NT is equals to NE. Then that is 1. Any ratio greater than 1, if it is exceeding the ratio, then it will be again normalized to 1. So, and in for the NP also, the maximum value of the NP is also capped at 0.2. That is 0.2 it would be capped. Here it is capped for, the maximum value is capped for 1 over here, and for the NP it would be capped for 0.2. I mean to say, if 20% or more than the total students are PhD candidates, more than 20%, whatever the enrollment is there or whatever the sanctioned intake of the PhD is there, of that more than 20% are the PhD doctoral students, then it would be capped for 0.2. If NP, this doctoral students enrolled upon any is greater than 0.2, then the value is also capped for again 0.2 only, so that the fairness will be ensured. Hope so I am clear till here. So, once again I repeat this. The NT and NE are the formulas, and NP is also a formula which is been explained for this particular student strength. Okay. So, NT is nothing but it is a total sanctioned intake for all the UG and PG programs, whereas NE stands for how many students are eligible for that particular enrollment. In the same way, for the NP also, it is enrolled for the doctoral programs. The NT and NE is maximum, that is the maximum value of NT and NE would be capped for 1. And if the ratio is greater than 1 also, it would be normalized for 1. And in the same way, for the NP also, it would be 0.2. If NP upon NE would be more than 0.2, then again, it would be capped at 0.2 for ensuring the fairness. So now let us assume an example for this particular formula. So now, if you assume here NT, okay, the sanctioned intake would be 240. Let us assume, and with an example, that is the sanctioned approved intake would be 240, and of which again the NE would be 240. How many students approved intake is there? That many students have been already enrolled. Now, if the NP is there, NP is 10. Okay. So now let us substitute in the formula as discussed. Now NT upon NE. Now NT is how much? 240. NE is how much? 240. So 240 upon 240 is equals to 1. In the same way, if we go for the NP, NP is how much? The NP, I have taken an example of 10. Of how many total intake? Total intake was how much? The NT was how much? It was 240. Then if we substitute that one, that is 10 upon 240, it will be 0.0417. Okay. So now after substituting these all things in this particular formula, now that is SS, okay, is equals to, what was the formula what we got here? NT upon NE, 240 upon 240, it was 1. So 1 into 15 plus. So here what we received, that is 10 upon 240. We received the number 0.0417. So that 0 plus 0.0417 multiplied by 5. So now again you substitute all these things. That is 15 into 1 is again 15. Okay. Plus 5 into 0.047 would be 0.21. And that is equals to 15.21. Okay. The SS number what we got after substituting these values would be 15.21. Now, let us take one more example. Okay. So now let us assume that NT is 200. Okay. And NE is 250. We are having the students more than the approved intake. Okay. Let us assume it. And NP would be 50. Now again substitute it the same, NT upon NE, that is 200 upon 250, that is equals to 0.8. Then NP, that is 50 upon 250, that would be 0.2. As it is capped 0.2, if it is exceeding means again it would be capped for 0.2 as discussed earlier. So now 0.8 multiplied by 15 plus 0.2 multiplied by 5. That is 12 plus 1. That becomes the number 13. Okay. So these are the two different examples which I have taken. If you see where the intake equals the eligible candidates or the enrolled candidates, the number is differing. And even though the intake is less and the eligible candidates admitted are more, then also the number is getting little reduced. Okay. So जब हम इसमें सब्स्टिट्यूट करने के बाद अभी हम ओवरऑल का वेटेज कैसे निकालते हैं इसमें, आई मीन टू से दैट ये ट्रिपल एस का जो है, आई मीन डबल एस का जो है स्टूडेंट स्ट्रेंथ इंक्लूडिंग द पीएचडी, तो इसका ओवरऑल वेटेज कैसे निकाला जाएगा. तो मैंने दो एग्जांपल लिया था. आई टुक टू एग्जांपल्स. वन वाज विद 240 intake with 240 eligible candidates, and another one was what, NT of 200 and it was exceeding the eligible of around 250. अब उस फॉर्मूला के साथ में एक में हमें 15.21 आया था जब हम पूरा कैलकुलेशन किया था, और दूसरा जो आया था हमारा आया था दैट द कैलकुलेशन वाज 13. अब जब हम यूनिवर्सिटीज का देखते हैं फॉर्मूला और जो कॉलेजेस के लिए फॉर्मूला देख रहे हैं, इसका जो वेटेज जो है, कहीं किसी किसी में ये 30 भी वेटेज हो सकता है कहाँ पे, ओवरऑल में. बट नाउ लेट अस इसको ओवरऑल वेटेज कैलकुलेशन कैसे करेंगे. नाउ हमारा अभी फर्स्ट टाइम जो हमने कैलकुलेशन किया था, जहां पे हमारा एनटी जो है 240 था, 240 था, एंड एनई वाज हाउ मच, एनई वाज अराउंड दैट इज आल्सो 240 एंड एनपी वाज 10. After doing all the calculation, we received a number 15.21. Now this 15.21, okay. So how much we got? SS is 15.21. Now we have to average it to how much? How many marks? We have to average this for the 20 marks. So now how to average this? एक मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ही रखा गया है, मतलब एक मैक्सिमम वैल्यू जो हम कह सकते हैं, वो जो एनआरएफ ने दिया है उसको हम 25 हम डिनोमिनेटर में ले रहे हैं. दैट इज 15.21 अपॉन 25 multiplied by 20. That almost all becomes 12.17. So इसका वेटेज हम 20% के 20% वेटेज में हमारा 12.17 आ रहा है, माने 20 मार्क्स में हमारे लिए स्कोर कितना आ रहा है, 12.17 आ रहा है. So now in case with the universities, we have to normalize with the 30% if it is 30%, and if it is 20%, we are normalizing it for the 20%. Similarly, another example where we took, that was the SS, what we got was 13. So 13 out of 20. So now overall weightage, if we take 13 upon 25 multiplied by 20, that is around 10.40. So the weightage, if we calculate that for the 30%, it would be around 3.12. So F values are not fixed, but they are calculated dynamically based on the enrollment and the PhD strength also. As I already told, the NT and NE are the both important thing. How many intake is there, that much enrolled is there, means that would give us the good number. Now maximum cap, I have already told that there are certain captions where it is normalized to 1 in NT and NE case, but in NP case it would be normalized for 0.2. Now again, let us consider one more example, that how to score full number in this one. Now let us again assume an example. Out of 20, how much we will be getting now. So now approved intake, already told you, that is the approved intake equals the enrolled intake. That is the best option over there. So if there are students, the UG and the PG students strength is more, okay, when UG and PG are equal, then automatically the number of the overall weightage increases. The SS is mostly depending upon the UG and PG students' enrollment, not much on the PhD. If you put into the formulas by using different numbers, so you would get an idea. Okay, so always the number increases by UG PG intake only when compared with the PhD. Hope so. This is clear. The first point I have made clear. That is the student strength I have made clear. And if you are having any doubts or any comments you would like to say, I am happy to go through them. Request you to subscribe the channel and also promote the channel for the other people who are in needy. Thank you. Thanks for